I need a new sheet.
Okay. Cannabis, more commonly known as marijuana, is a psychoactive drug and it's usually smoked out of pipes, bongs, joints, blunts, or vaporized. The THC can be measured in blood, urine, hair, sweat for drug testing since it is not illegal in the United States. It is only legal in Colorado and Washington, and it is only legal for medicinal use in states like California, Alaska, Arizona, Connecticut, DC, Delaware, Hawaii, Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Montana, Nevada, and New Hampshire, New Jersey. And this video is going to give you a brief history on marijuana. It focuses on the global history, but our presentation is going to focus specifically on the United States. Oh, does there not volume on this?
Yes.
It's not. Clearly from that video you can tell that although illegal, marijuana is still prominent in the United States. In a 2001 national survey on drug use and health, 2 out of every 5 Americans have smoked marijuana use in their lifetime, and nowadays teens smoke marijuana more than cigarettes. It's the most common drug in the United States, and 17 million are users. And now Denis is going to introduce the problems associated with marijuana.
All right, so the 2 main problems with marijuana use are legal problems and health problems. And modern research clearly demonstrates that marijuana has the potential to cause heavy problems in life. Some of those problems in heavy marijuana use include generally lower life satisfaction, poor mental health and physical health, relationship problems, less academic and career success, and other health-related problems include increased heart rate, lower testosterone levels, distorted perception, impaired coordination, difficulty of thinking and problem solving, and disrupted learning and memory. Recent studies about marijuana have shown that people who began smoking marijuana heavily in their teens lost as much as 8 points of IQ between ages 13 and 38. The most frequent users of marijuana are reported to be teenagers of various ages. And according to the NIDA's 2012 monitoring survey, About 6.5% of 8th graders, 17% of 10th graders, and 22% of 12th graders had used marijuana in their lifetimes. And 6.5% of 12th graders report that they use marijuana on a daily basis. Many people believe that marijuana isn't an addictive drug. That isn't true, however, because 9% of people that have used marijuana become dependent on it, and 25 to 50% that use marijuana on a daily basis become dependent on it. Alright, now some legal problems with marijuana. Placing a ban on marijuana has caused infringement on public liberties. State and local governments have spent countless of tax dollars trying to regulate marijuana and prevent crime. Also, since the drug market today is run heavily by the drug cartels, drug busts of younger teens can often ruin their futures, and the penal code turns their lives into criminal, basically.
Alright, so as you can see, there are two different problems, some associated with preventing use of marijuana and some associated with actually using marijuana. So we're going to give you solutions to those separate problems, and although they contradict themselves, there's no specific solution that can solve all the problems associated with marijuana use, so we're going to decide on the best solution that solves most of it. Anna's going to talk about the legalization solution.
Okay, so the legalization pros is that one thing that we all know is that marijuana users will not stop smoking weed no matter if it's legal or not. So if the government controls the market, then it will be a positive change for the economy and will generate billions from the taxes annually. The government will be spending less money on regulating marijuana use because right now they're spending billions on it. The lower prices will reduce crimes related to the marijuana market. Drug dealers would lose most or all of the control over the market. And by legalizing marijuana, more jobs are generated by dealing and growing. So government will be able to regulate the quality and the quantity of marijuana produced in the United States. Then we have medical legalization pros. So 75% of adults support marijuana use for medical problems, because as Dr. Donald Abrams signifies for the medical use of patients with HIV, he says that patients receiving cannabinoids had improved immune function compared with those receiving placebo. They also gained about 4 pounds more on average than those patients receiving the placebo. So marijuana can be used medically to help reduce and alleviate many health issues like stomach problems, cancer, AIDS, and many more.
Dawn is going to introduce the solution as keeping the ban on marijuana, which is how it is now.
There are two main problems with marijuana. One is it is a gateway drug, and the other is how it affects your thinking, your abilities, such as your brain. It affects the frontal lobe, which pretty much controls your actions, decision making, and movement. And there was a wide range study that shows people under the influence of marijuana move 5 to 10 times slower than people above the influence. These effects on how you move can impair your driving, which can cause and increase the chances of the person getting into a car accident. 30% of fatal injured drivers tested positive for drugs other than alcohol. So, and marijuana being the main culprit, which is 22% of the fatal injured drivers were under the influence of marijuana. The gateway drug, pretty much, marijuana it creates a craving for the sense of the high feeling, and after a while you get used to the feeling of getting the same high every single time. So you crave it more and more, and it leads to the use of crack, cocaine, heroin, LSD, ecstasy, angel dust, and etc. These drugs can lead to overdoses, which can be fatal, go into a coma, and the director of the NIH, or the National Institute of Drug Abuse, she created a large range scale and research, such as what Denis said, how found that if you use it heavily throughout your teenage years and to adulthood, you lose IQ points. It declines, and it can affect. The director said it can affect what makes you successful, what makes you not, and.
Okay, so as you can see, these are 3 broad solutions to the problem of marijuana in the United States. However, we all agreed on legalizing marijuana as the best solution, because although there are many health risks to the use of marijuana, with legalizing it, the government can control and maintain the quality and safety of the marijuana distributed. And although it is illegal right now, there are still many users in the United States, and it doesn't seem like that's going to change anytime soon. We also believe that it's going to, by legalizing, the government can control the market instead of dangerous drug cartels criminally running it. It will also decrease the need of tax dollars to be spent through drug busts and other police measures. And here's a satirical video saying don't legalize weed. However, if you look closely, you can tell that the safest and most logical way would be to
You freaking out, dude? Yeah, you probably are, because you're a little bit stoned, right? Well, that's okay, because I want to talk to you. Hey, whoa, wait, focus. I want to talk to you about something that's important to all stoners: legalization. Now, before you start organizing a protest, get bored of that protest and go back to playing Mario Kart, take a second to consider that legalization may not be a great idea. Now, I'm not talking about public policy or health. I'm talking about all the little things that are going to change. And you hate change, unless it's a new Doritos flavor. Think of all the people you don't want to smoke weed with.
I suppose I could partake in this dude.
Oh, dudes, I'm so high right now. I'm so high right now, guys. Can we talk about this all night?
Oh, this stuff is so much stronger than the grass when I was your age. I mean, it's like, dude, it's deep.
Oh, you think smoking weed with your dad would be fun, don't you? Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever gotten drunk with your dad?
Son, well, has you seen your cousin Maggie? I mean, she's grown up. She's like...
Oh, gross. It's disgusting. Come on, Dad.
Mom.
If weed were legal, annoying stoners would multiply faster
Than an educated American.
Dad! So racist! Right now buying weed is super easy. Some shady guy comes over, he mumbles something, you mumble something, you give him some money, and that's it. Bam, you're done. You just bought weed, and you didn't even leave the couch. But once weed is legal, well, let me ask you this. When's the last time you enjoyed going to a busy Starbucks?
Do I want an ounce of sour diesel or Vancouver Sunset?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is not Kush.
You missing our shady guy yet? Thank you.
Okay, so that is $299 for the ounce plus local tax, state tax, federal tax. That comes to $973.
What? And who will grow this legal weed? It won't be someone who spends all day in an underground bunker tinkering and crossbreeding, trying to create the stickiest of icky. No, it won't be someone like Mitch here. No, it's going to be mass grown by some Iowa farmer with a government subsidy trying to get the most product for the least cost.
Some boiled semen and some HGH. Put that on your soil, a little trip in your yield.
Plus, think of the children. Look, teenagers aren't always going to do illegal drugs to be cool, right? So do we really want to make the one illegal drug that's not harmful and not addictive in any way suddenly uncool?
This is stupid. Let's smoke this dog shit instead. I hate my dad.
Look, smoking weed should be fun and it shouldn't really be a crime, but are we as a society really ready to deal with the repercussions of making it legal? Instead, I propose this as an alternative. How about the cops just leave us stoners alone and let us get back to doing what we do best?
Nothing. Cops? Did you say cops? Come on, take me alive! Come on!
Okay, so basically what we're trying to prevent is like the danger behind it through the underground market, the drug cartels, and also through legalizing it, the government can control the economy and it will boost our economy.